Welcome back to another blazing edition of Hot Topics, the podcast powered by the Suncoast Tampa Living Network, where we dig into the ideas, innovations, and real life experiences shaping business, leadership, and the future of our industry. I'm your host, Quan Rummer, and we're recording live from the Fabre Framework studio. Fabre Frameworks, every property has a story, and the right presentation can make all the difference. Fabre Frameworks helps real estate professionals showcase homes in a way that captures attention, creates interest, and drives results. If you're ready to make a stronger first impression, visit FabreFrameworks.com. Now, when hurricane season arrives in Florida, preparation isn't optional. It's part of home ownership. And every year, homeowners across Tampa Bay face difficult questions. Is my insurance coverage enough? Can my roof withstand a major storm? Do I need flood insurance? What happens if I have to file a claim? And most importantly, am I truly prepared before the next storm arrives? Joining us today are two professionals who help homeowners navigate hurricane season from very different but equally important perspectives. One helps homeowners identify vulnerabilities before a storm, and the other helps homeowners understand how to protect themselves financially if a storm strikes. Together, they're helping homeowners prepare before the next storm even appears on the radar. Entering the heat first. She represents a firm that has spent more than 15 years helping Florida homeowners navigate one of the most challenging insurance markets in the country. As part of Top Quote Insurance, she works with access to more than 100 insurance carriers, giving her a front row seat to changing rates, evolving coverage requirements, hurricane risk, flood protection, and the real-world decisions homeowners face before and after a storm. Her team has built a reputation for taking concierge approach to insurance, focusing on education, guidance, and helping clients understand not only what their policy covers, but what it does not. And when she's not helping families protect their homes, you'll likely find her cheering from the sidelines as a proud R3 youth baseball team mom, proving that preparation, teamwork, and showing up when it matters aren't just insurance principles, they're a way of life. Please welcome Stacia Falls of Top Coat Insurance.
Thank you.
Yes.
Great to be here.
Oh, I'm glad. And entering the heat opposite of her, a Florida licensed home inspector and the owner of Suncoast Home Inspections, where he's built a reputation for helping homeowners and buyers understand exactly what's happening behind the walls, above the ceilings, and beneath the roof before small issues become expensive surprises. From full home inspections, wind mitigations, 4-point inspections, thermal imaging, drone-assisted roof evaluations, and insurance-related inspection, he spends every day helping Floridians better understand and protect one of the largest investments they'll ever make. Clients consistently praise his attention to detail, his thorough reporting, and ability to explain complicated issues in plain English, making him a trusted resource for homeowners throughout the Bay. Some people binge watch Netflix. Joe spends his days finding problems homeowners hope never make it onto television. Please welcome Joe Anthony of Suncoast Home Inspections.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. How did everybody like their intros today?
Love it. Love it. Got me all pumped up.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
We're going to jump right into it. So, Joe, for someone who's just moved to Florida, what is the first thing they should know about hurricane preparedness?
Wow. So hurricane preparedness, it's a broad topic, right? But as a new homeowner or someone moving to the area, I would say when you're doing your walkthrough of the home, the property you're interested in, I would say kind of take a step back, look at the home as the structure as a whole. But to be plain and to be simple about it, you're looking at the roof, looking if there's any gutters, looking at the condition of the windows, checking out that garage door real briefly, and just kind of getting a lay of the land, checked if there's any kind of sloping of the grounds towards the home, things like that. Nothing too crazy, but the key is when we're talking about hurricane preparedness and what your home, there was those wind mitigating factors on the home. That's what's important. That's what you need to be looking out for. And then when you hire a home inspector, we go up into those attics, we check those things out, we put it on the wind mitigation form. That's what's going to get you those premium reductions in most cases. But that's for Stacia. But again, as for someone coming here, new to the area, buying a home, that's those wind mitigating features on a home is what we're looking for, and what you should be looking for as a homeowner.
All right. Stacia, from the insurance side, what do you wish every new Florida homeowner understood?
So, being a born and raised Floridian, I don't think that hurricanes are as scary as everybody makes them out to be. I know that's probably an unpopular opinion, but they're not as scary. We have seen two really bad storms, and I want to believe those were our 100-year storms. But it's important to take them seriously, evacuate when your area is being evacuated, know what flood zone you're in, know what evacuation zone you're in. Flood zone does not matter. We are on a peninsula surrounded by water and in becoming a concrete jungle. Flooding is going to become more and more common throughout the state, no matter where you're at. So just be prepared with that. There are more and more flood carriers coming into the market as well. And just make sure to take a look at your house and make sure that you're prepared for any impact that could come towards your house, whether it being putting up plywood or making sure that shingles don't fly off. It's making sure that your home is protected as best as you can make it before the storm.
Stacia, what is the biggest misconception people have about hurricane preparedness?
That there's one single solution for hurricane preparedness. Every hurricane's different. And even when you think that you're prepared for a hurricane, you might not be. If you've looked at a couple of the different storms that have been coming directly towards Tampa Bay and then turn just south of us, you never really know where the storm can turn. So it's always being prepared for the unknown, because storm tracks can change. So just be prepared for anything.
Joe, do you see those same misconceptions during inspections?
Yeah, I think for me, when I talk to clients, they often come back to me later on. They're like, "Hey, did we pass or fail the wind mit?" And there is no pass or fail. It's a home inspector going in there. We identify those wind mitigating features on a home. I talked to Stacia briefly about this. It's kind of an all or nothing kind of deal. We can get into that a little bit later on the form, but it's not a pass or fail. It's us identifying what those features are on a home. So,
And when should homeowners begin preparing for hurricane season?
well, if you just bought a house, I'd say that would be the day when you close. You need to start looking at this stuff. As far as preparation, they always hear on the news, hey, stock up on XYZ supplies, fill in that pantry. So you prepare your pantry, but you prepare your palace, right? So when you're doing this, I would say start from what's the biggest bang for the buck, right? So if you do X, what's the biggest return on that, the premium, right? So when it talks about preparedness, say the home has impact rated windows, say it has an impact rated garage door. You want to expand on that the more items you have on the home. Again, I'm just keeping talking about those premiums out there. So preparation is getting your home ready before the storm hits. When you see it on TV, I want to say it's too late, but you're pushing the envelope. Yeah.
Stacia, is there anything homeowners should be reviewing with their insurance agent before the season begins?
Well, season's already here. We're in it. How many days in? 16.
June something.
Yeah.
16, 17. 17 days in. You should be looking at your policy, knowing exactly what is covered. What is your dwelling coverage? Is it going to be enough should a total loss happen, God forbid? What is your deductibles if a hurricane comes? Is it 2% of your dwelling? Is it 5%? Is it 10%? Those are the big things. Do you have flood insurance? If you don't have flood insurance, if you're in an area that requires us to have the National Flood Program, it's a 30-day wait. If you're in an area that can get private flood, you can have up to 10 days. But there are binding restrictions whenever hurricanes come through as to where we won't be able to bind a policy if a storm is coming. So you want to make sure that you're prepared at least a month out. Now is the best time when there's no storms, when there's nothing in the area.
Perfect. Joe, what are some of the most common mistakes homeowners make before a storm even arrives?
Common mistakes before a storm arrives. I guess I don't want to use maybe neglect, right? So it's like neglect or maybe even ignorance. But I'm trying to get at, if you do nothing to prepare your home, you should expect, possibly higher damage or whatever the case may be. So in doing your due diligence in the beginning, understanding what helps the home keep the water out. Water in equals damage, right? So you got to do everything you can to prepare your home. And if it's even just as simple as, hey, I just moved into this new home and it's got a shutter system on the outside of the home. You see all those little pins around the doors, the windows, whatnot. A lot of times I'll see the aluminum panels inside the garage. Well, they're strapped together. They might not have any labeling on it. You don't know the first thing about how to put these things together or where they go. So there's probably a couple, maybe 80 pieces, 60 pieces. If you're not prepping that beforehand, you're just going to be struggling when it hits. So things like that, that's what helps homeowners get prepared for these upcoming storms that are inevitable, I think, here in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I agree with that. That was great.
Stacia, what mistakes do you see from the insurance perspective?
Thinking everything's going to just be covered. Unfortunately, that's not the case. And this is just in general with all insurance. Not everything is covered. Wear and tear is not going to be covered. If you're neglecting the home, it's not going to be covered. So when you're preparing for storms, make sure that anything that, let's just say a window seal isn't correctly caulked or sealed, and there's water that could come through, that's not going to be covered. But if you go through and you make sure that it's taken care of and it's sealed properly, and the insurance company sees that you've done that, you're more likely to have it covered.
Stacia, what does being truly storm ready look like beyond, buying batteries and bottled water?
It's being ready for whatever comes at you. Like we talked about earlier, you never know where the storm's going to go. It can go north, south, right at you. So it could go across the state and hit all of us. Or look at, which one was it? Helene, that went up through Georgia. I mean, you just have to be ready for the hurricane to go wherever it goes. And if that means evacuating, making sure you're taking care of your pets, your elderlies, making sure you have all of your medicines. It's the little things that add up.
Gotcha. Joe, what are the most vulnerable parts of a home during a hurricane?
All right, that's a very good question.
Yeah.
Several areas can lead up to this here. So the most vulnerable areas, starting from the roof, right? We're going to look at the condition of these shingles or even tiles. Shingles could rip, they could tear, they could have loss of granules. The top ridge cap could be loose or something like that. Anything that allows water to gain entry into that attic area, it's going to create havoc. I'm also looking at the soffits, which is the overhang of the roof. That allows airflow into the attic. We get crosswinds, we get cross rain, and I've actually seen water blow sideways and it gets up in that soffit and it runs down the interior of the walls. So again, it's doing what you can to mitigate water gaining entry into your home. Another area is, gutters. I don't see a lot of gutters here in Florida for some reason on some of these homes, but if you don't have any gutters, that sheer runoff of the water from the roofs, it creates like a gully around your house, and that water saturates the ground. It potentially can help or allow for your foundation to move. We see a lot of settlement cracks from this. So you want to deflect water away from your home, keep water out of your attic, maintain those roofs, maintain any defects. It's your roof. I mean, that's the biggest thing. As far as impact related stuff, I mean, it's going to be your windows, front doors, garage doors, things like that. So it's keeping the water out. That's a big deal.
That is correct.
Stacia, how do those vulnerabilities typically show up from an insurance standpoint?
From me.
From
No, it's good.
everything Joe just said. I mean, water intrusion, non-related hurricane. You brought up a really great point of water sitting on the ground. I have a neighbor that water was sitting and it seeped through the walls and was coming in through the walls. So another
Absolutely.
great point that he brought up, to make sure that your home is sealed to prevent the water. Water is the most damaging of anything. I mean, fire, yes, you can lose everything, but water, you're gonna have mold. It takes forever to get rid of it. So do whatever you can to prevent any type of water coming through. I mean, from a insurance standpoint, you're going to want to make sure that you're doing everything you can to prevent everything. If you need to file a claim, that's when things could get a little bit hairy. So you want to do everything that you can before filing a claim.
Joe, what are some warning signs that a roof may not hold up during a major hurricane?
All right, so I touched on this a hair ago, just looking at the the condition of their shingles, condition of the tiles. If you have those old windows that were original to the home and the home was built in 1956, perhaps the paper thin, glass that's between you and the hurricane might be time to upgrade. What was the first part of that question?
What are some
mine's
warning
going too
signs
fast.
that a roof may not hold up during a storm?
All right, so we talked about the shingles. And then, so from a home inspection point of view, when we go up in that attic or the vantage point we have in the attic, we want to make sure that there's no, previous signs of leaks or water intrusion. So there's evidence of that we would look for. That would be an indicator that, hey, you might have an issue up there. Talked about the windows. Garage doors. If your garage doors are older or if it's on a new house, you want to look at the wind ratings on the garage door, and if it's impact rated or not. That's a pretty big deal right there, because if your garage door gives way and now you got different air pressure blowing through the garage from low to high pressure, it could create havoc inside the home, and it's just not good for anybody. So garage doors, that's something to look forward to, or look at. And so windows, garage door, even your front door. Some of the newer homes, they're designed to open outward as opposed to inward. Right?
Yes.
So it's just the way that high pressure blows through the homes. You want to make sure that's protected as well. Should I get into hurricane clips right now or no?
No, we could talk about
All right,
those, because those have a really big impact on insurance.
Stacia, Joe talked a lot about the garage doors. Do you see garage door failures becoming significant claim issues after storms?
Not terribly, but he is correct that that is a huge vulnerability.
Okay. Joe, what should homeowners know about impact windows versus shutters?
Good question. I hope I could answer it. So impact windows, right? So we all know they're very expensive, right? It's laminated glass, right? It's very dense. When I guess the advantage of that is that it's always there, right? It's ready to go at a moment's notice. There's no preparation for it. Is it worth the money? I mean, that's all depends on the homeowner, right? And what you can swing, what you could afford to do. But when it comes to the shutter system, again, it's coming down to, do you have all the pieces? Do you know how to put it together properly? And is it actually, there's a rating system on those too. And there's actually some imprint etching into some of the aluminum, like the sheets. and you want to be looking to see if it's like been passed through the appropriate Florida test and measure type stuff to see if it's even, they call it large missile impact ratings and whatnot. So you want to make sure they're legit coverings on a window. So not just impact rated windows. If you can't go that route, the other option is those shutter systems. And there's some other stuff out there too, like specific plywood and things like that. And
There's also like a
oh, the
plastic,
like
like a
Kevlar,
fabric.
almost like the roll, like the
Yes.
material.
Yeah.
That's another option you can have put on windows. So
That's good. So, Stacia, are there any insurance advantages associated with either of these options?
With hurricane impacted windows and hurricane impacted door and garage door, all openings would have to be considered hurricane impact. That does create large discounts for insurance. And you're talking, it could be a couple $100s to thousands of dollars. Not all of the shutters do get hurricane credits. We were talking about that Cavalier system. I had a client that is buying that for her home she just purchased. However, I submitted it to the insurance company that we went with, and the insurance company will not give a discount for that. I think from a carrier standpoint, I used to work on the carrier side, so I see both sides, unfortunately. It's hard to say that it's going to give a discount because you don't know if it's going to be put up afterwards. Whereas with all the hurricane rated windows, doors, garage door, those are already in place, and that's why you get such a large discount.
Makes sense. Yes. Joe, what are some home maintenance projects homeowners should prioritize before the hurricane season?
okay, so maintenance projects. Taking a step back from your home and just kind of doing a once over. Just you need to be mindful of those shingles up there, right? So that's like like your highest priority, making sure your roof is good. When it comes to maintenance, you want to be cleaning up around your home. Make sure you don't have a lot of like items laying around. Even the pool cages or lanais, check out the framing of those items because a lot of times the screws that are driven into the concrete, a lot of times they rust out and they just shear off. So a lot of those pool cages out there, some of those, they're just rusted and they're just kind of sitting there. It might have 1 out of 5 that's still in place. So that's a maintenance thing you could do. Making sure your gutters are clear if you do have gutters. If you have tree overhang, you want to make sure the tree branches are trimmed away. You want to keep as much debris off of your roof as you possibly can. Making sure that water shear and deflection is moving water away from your home. So if there's anything you could do to help move that water away from your home, that's where I'd start. So again, item secure, roof's good, soffit's good, no gaping holes in the side of anywhere. So plug up the holes, make sure your roof's good, move the water away. That's what I would say.
Perfect. We'll be right back with more from our guests as we keep the conversation burning on hot topics, live from the Fabre Framework studio. Fabre Frameworks, buyers are forming opinions about your listings before they ever schedule a showing. That's why realtors across Florida trust Fabre for their professional photography that ensures the first impression is a memorable one. If you're ready to stand out from the competition, visit FabreFrameworks.com today. All right, it is time to turn up the heat. Welcome to the hot seat. This is your opportunity to speak directly to the homeowners, buyers, sellers, and realtors listening today. For the next 2 minutes, tell us who you are, what sets your company apart, and why Florida homeowners should have your number before the next storm appears on the radar. The spotlight is on, the clock is running, and the heat is all yours. Stacia, you're up first.
Wonderful, thank you. Stacia Falls, top quote. My number is 727-387-4286. You must have my number. I'm important. No, I'm just kidding. I've been in insurance for way too many years. Somebody once told me, once you get in insurance, you never get out. And I at first thought that was a horrible statement, but here we are so many years later, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I do love insurance. I love being able to help people and get coverage for people that need it, which is everybody. I want to be able to be your contact if you have questions, even if I'm not the realtor, or not the realtor, the agent, the insurance agent. I want to be able to help you. I'll take a look at your policy and see if there's anything that could be improved. One big thing that people miss on their insurance policy is replacement cost versus actual cash value. I'm sure we're probably going to talk about that, but that is a big piece. It's to save money, but also can cost you money in the end. I've been a Florida native for a lot of years, so I've lived through it all. I've seen all the changes, the growth. Unfortunate, some of it, but some of it really, really great. So I'm here for you if you guys need anything.
Joe.
The heat, huh? All right.
There you go.
So, all right. So my name is Joe from Suncoast Home Inspections, owner, and I started this 5 years ago. I'm retired military, so I have a lot of background with, working with folks and people and dealing with stress and stuff like this. So, but no, from a home inspection point of view, I don't expect to be the best, the all-knowing, having all the answers or whatnot. But like Stacia mentioned, I want to be a source that homeowners, realtors, whomever can rely on to call up and say, "Hey, Joe, I got this." Not so much like an everyday occurrence, but if you're hiring me to come out and do something, I'm going to do my due diligence to go through the home, identify the defects or deficiencies that a homeowner should be aware of. Another thing that I think is important is that with that attention to detail and capturing all those deficiencies or defects in a home, it's explaining it to the realtor. It's explaining it to the client. We mentioned before about it's the most expensive thing you'll probably purchase in your life, maybe. But that being said, you want to know what you're getting into. You want to know what your challenges are with these homes are. And if I can go through a home, identify the issues, what's important, and what the white noise is, I could describe that. What you should fix, what you should maybe, hey, let go for another time. But the key is, one, I love what I'm doing. Two, I care about what I'm doing. So it's the education piece, I think, is the most important piece for me that I can share with a client or a realtor to explain why I do what I do, why it's important, what the ramifications are if you don't fix these issues, and who to contact to have them corrected. So all in all, again, I might not be the biggest company. I'm not the most expensive company. I'm not the cheapest, but I'll tell you, I'll do my due diligence, and I think you would, you would see the value of what Suncoast Home Inspections brings to the table. So,
Perfect.
yeah.
Tell the listeners and viewers how they can contact you.
So I got a website out there. It's suncoast.home.inspections.com. My phone number is 727-899-0389. You can call me anytime, text me anytime. If you go the Google route, don't go the Google route. I mean, you could Google me, but if you call the Google number, just call me directly, 727-899-0389, and be glad to help out anytime. Listen, I answer the phone on the weekends. I respond to text messages at 10 o'clock at night. My fiance looks at me like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm talking to a client, just trying to help them out. So anytime, you know how to get a hold of me. I'm
Same.
available.
Same.
Perfect. I love it.
Yeah.
Let's get back into these questions. You guys did great. Joe, what exactly is a wind mitigation inspection?
Okay, so wind mitigation. First things first, and I'll try to kind of not be too winded with this, but as a home inspector, we come out to the house. There's required photographs that the form asks for, and that the insurance folks want to see and verify. So if I'm looking at a roof or the slope of a roof or pitch of a roof, we have to have the supporting photographs, right? So we're going to take our photographs of what's needed from an aerial perspective with a drone, or even getting up there with the ladder, making sure the roof's in good condition. Moving around the house itself, I'm checking to make sure there's no cracked or damaged windows, garage doors, entryway doors, side access doors to those garages. Looking for damage, looking to see if they are impact rated, looking to see if the shutter system is there, like prepped with those pins or whatever. Documenting that, and then I'm not so much at this point looking at the gutter system or the foundation or anything like that. Moving into the home, we need access to the attic. When we get up in the attic, there's features of the roof. We have to take measurements of the roof decking, see how thick it is. I need to take measurement of the fasteners on the roof, the spacing of those fasteners, and one of the more important things in the attic is I talked about hurricane straps. If we don't know what those are by now, we need to educate ourselves on what those
Yeah.
are. So when I go up in the attic, if where a roof truss meets the vertical wall in the home, right? So we're looking in those corners and we want to see a strap that's embedded into the top beam. It's about a 1 inch strap. It goes either up one side with a couple nails, or it goes over the top with a few nails, or it has no nails whatsoever. It's corroded, whatever it might be. I need to capture what type of fastener is on that truss. If there's nothing, if it's just a toenail, that's what they call it, just a toenail driven on the side, then that's probably the lowest form of mitigating factors in a roof. That strap is key. And then I'm trying to think. Oh, we also document if these windows are impact rated. I want to show either maybe a permit for the garage door, capsuling. If you look in your windows, if they are impact rated, you'll see like a foil sticker up in the top, like part of the manufacturer's sticker, like maybe who the manufacturer is. It'll give you like a wind rating or a pressure. It'll say large impact rated, whatever I could do to show on the form that, hey, we're checking this off. I have to have the evidence of or proof
Correct.
of. So that's the gist of it. So
Right.
it's I can go a little further, but we'll keep it light for now.
All right. And
Yeah.
Stacia, why is this inspection so important from an insurance perspective?
Insurance uses this for their rating. So I won't go into all the nitty gritty of ratings, but each carrier files what they are going to charge for premium in a given area based on certain characteristics of the home, including wind mids. I know that's really a fun topic. But based on the characteristics, if you have toenails, like Joe was talking about, that's going to be the lowest rating. Clips, single wrap, double wrap, those are going to provide more discounts. Really, the wind mitigation is a source of credits for the insurance, or for the premiums for the insured. If you have clips or single wraps, we're looking at saving clients, it could be, again, like the hurricane protection. It can be hundreds of dollars to thousands of dollars. I had a client that had toenails and they went to clips and it saved them $3,000.
Wow.
Annually, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So the wind mitigation shows how the roof is attached and basically it's the likeliness of it getting torn off.
Nice. So, Stacia, what are some examples of claims that homeowners assumed were covered but weren't?
Oh, I got a really great phone call just a couple weeks ago that new home purchase, they did not fully go around the home. There was a bunch of shrubs and trees in the way, and they finally got all that cleared away. A tree was growing into the side of their home. That
could be a problem.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a huge problem on so many different levels, but really that's neglect, and that's not going to be covered because you can cut a tree before it's growing into your home. So that was one. When I many moons ago, when I worked in insurance, I had somebody call. This was from another state. Call and wanted to have their blankets replaced because they had frozen over in the snowstorms. So, like I said, a lot of people believe that insurance will cover everything, and it's not that way.
We see. Can you explain the difference between hurricane deductibles and the standard homeowner deductibles?
Sure. So hurricane deductible is going to be a percentage typically. There are companies that do a flat $1,000, $2,000. It's very rare, but it's most likely a percentage of the dwelling amount. The all other perils. So all other perils is going to be anything but named storm. Your water, your lightning, a tornado that is not related to a hurricane, um, a tree falling through your roof that it has nothing to do with a hurricane. Those are typically about 1,000, 2,500. So with deductibles, you're going to be paying that before the insurance kicks in. And this is why it's important to know what your hurricane deductible is. If you have a 10% hurricane deductible and your fence goes down, is it going to be worth placing a claim for insurance for a fence that you could probably replace for less?
Yeah, makes sense. How important is flood insurance today, even outside designated flood zones?
With Helene and Milton, we saw a lot of X zones flood. Again, I want to believe that that is a 100-year storm, that we are never going to have that again, knock on wood, somewhere, all over. But with how we're growing and there's construction everywhere, there's less and less places for water runoff to go. And that's just one of the unfortunate side effects of growth. So with that being said, it's more and more water is going to build up and stay. Places in X flood zones are going to start flooding more and more. It is very important. I had flood insurance on a home that was an X flood zone. It's worth it just to have. I've known people that were in X flood zones that flooded and didn't have flood insurance, and they've paid out of pocket. So it's definitely worth it. We can take a look at different options. There are private carriers that cover, they have really good rates and can cover a lot.
Joe, what flood related damage do you commonly see after storms?
After storms, when it comes to a home, it'll be the shingles on the roof. So if we're talking 130-mile-an-hour winds, 140-mile-an-hour winds. So we look at the zones. Like when I go out and do these inspections, on the form itself, the wind mit form, it asks what region we're in now. So depending if you're in, say, like northern Hernando County on the east side, it might be a little lesser than, of course, down here, maybe,
Right.
Tampa or St. Pete. So it's going to be the roof condition, roof damage. We'll see trees on the roofs, even electrical lines. So I guess when it comes to damage is if you're doing an assessment on your property, one, be safe. Don't go climbing on your roof just to check these things out. Leave it to the professionals. But if you just really kind of like pay attention to those items that could allow for water to gain entry into your home, that's where I'd focus at. So
Stacia, how can homeowners identify whether they're underinsured?
Do a review with your insurance agent. If not your insurance agent, give me a call. We'll take a look. What you mainly want to see is if your dwelling coverage is up to what it would cost to rebuild now. So with inflation, I know this is something we might be talking about later, but with inflation, the prices are going up, replacement cost is going up. Insurance companies are taking that into account and putting that into their replacement calculators to calculate how much the dwelling amount should be. So that is one of the biggest gaps that there has been, is in the replacement cost of the dwelling. So that would be the first place that I would start.
Okay. And what documentation should every homeowner have readily available before hurricane season begins?
Oof, they definitely need their policy. Know who their insurance is with. Know the phone numbers. Those are the biggest. Know their agent. Make sure you have your agent. Agents should be your advocate as well. If you get into a sticky situation with the insurance company, your agent should be helping you as well.
Joe, what home related documentation is commonly overlooked?
documentation. Well, I would say if you're aware of a storm that's inbound and you have time to do this, I would walk around the home, take a video with your trusty smart device, and just record a a back shot. I mean, as far as further away, do a walk around the home, zoom in on some of these areas that you think are protected or not, or whatever like that. So I would have a video documentation of your property. That way,
Inside and out.
yeah,
Yes.
inside and out for sure. That's what I would,
Absolutely.
yeah,
That's number one. Well, number two.
that's
Insurance
awesome.
and number two.
Yeah.
Stacia, what insurance trends are you seeing in Florida that homeowners need to understand?
Well, for once, I think this is good news for everybody. I'm seeing that insurance rates are going down. We're having more and more carriers coming into the market, which is phenomenal. Uh, so that's creating rate drops. That is the biggest improvement in years.
Good. Joe, what hurricane related questions should buyers always ask before purchasing a home?
I would always ask or encourage the question to be, what wind mitigating features are that do you know about are on this home? So if you're the realtor, just again, just it's the continuing of education. The more information you can pass on to your client about these wind mitigating factors, you're going to help them out in the long run.
Stacia, what insurance questions should buyers be asking before closing?
I agree with Joe about the wind mitigation credits or wind mitigation factors, making sure that they have clips. There are companies that are out there that will go in after a roof is put on and put clips on if that is something that you choose. And that could, again, save your home and save you money.
How can realtors help educate consumers without creating fear?
I think fear is already going to be there, but I think that providing education in a calm, relaxed way is the best way. Bringing in an insurance agent early to help collaborate would be key. Insurance agents, this is what we specialize in. Realtors, your job is to sell. Have people buy, have people sell. We don't. We understand that insurance is its own beast. So you don't have to understand it all.
Joe, what information should realtors feel comfortable discussing with clients?
Just giving them the reality, like if you're buying an older home, from I've seen in St. Pete from 1920 something all the way up to today. You have to be comfortable if you're selling the old house, explaining to your client that, hey, this home doesn't have any wind mitigating factors. It doesn't have impact rated windows, et cetera, et cetera. So they got to be able to just bluntly put out there, like, hey, you're lacking this, and I would recommend that, right? So
Yeah.
you got to talk about the things that maybe cost money.
All right, the storm has passed. Joe, what should homeowners do in the first 24 hours?
You need to be looking for leaks. You need to be checking stains on your ceilings. If there's anything coming through, you might see some discoloration. You might hear something, right? I would actually walk the outside of the home. If you're in these newer developments where homes are right on top of each other and we know what they look like, making sure the water is deflecting away from the house, check any broken windows, check for anything that might have smacked into your house, making sure it's still structurally sound. So that's where I'd start.
What mistakes do homeowners commonly make when documenting the damage?
They don't. They don't document the damage. They will just take stuff and throw it away, rip things out without taking any pictures or saving it. When you're making a claim with an insurance company, you're going to have to keep everything, unfortunately, and document it. They have to be able to see that it was related to the storm, that it wasn't due to wear and tear, that it was related to the peril, and that's a whole other. Well, if you have long questions, we can get into that. That's a whole other topic, but it has to be peril specific. It can't just be wear and tear. So they're going to want to see that there's no mold, there's no, there hasn't been water for months and months, and then all of a sudden you're saying it's hurricane. So not documenting is probably the worst way of documenting.
we're going to go into rapid fire.
Oh.
Joe, you'll be first with this question. Then, Stacia, you'll answer second.
Okay.
One item every hurricane kit should contain.
Wow. One item every hurricane kit. Prepare your pantry and prepare your house. I don't know. One item. You need to have like how about a radio, like one of those battery powered radios or even a crank thing that has power to it. You want to be able to hear those emergency broadcasts or any kind of special announcements from your local news company.
Flashlights.
Perfect. Biggest insurance myth.
Insurance covers everything.
I'm sure you've heard some.
Myth?
Yep. Myth.
Wind mitigations, pass or fail. That's it. That's it. That's a big myth. That's the biggest one.
That is a myth. That's a good
Best home improvement investment for storm protection.
I think the biggest bang for the buck, try to be quick, is when we're talking about those clips, making sure it has 3 nails. If you don't have 3 nails, I could talk to you about how to get that 3rd nail. So that'd be it. 3 nails.
3 nails.
Making sure that you're staying up on your maintenance. If your roof is older, get it replaced. If you need to have clips, put clips in.
Most important, hurricane preparation task.
Going around surveying your home, making sure that there's no trees hanging on top of your roof.
Dang it. Tree removal, taking care of your property, making sure it's prepped. I mean, that's it. I mean, you no obstructions, no anything laying around. Make sure your roof's good. You're doing rapid fire. I don't know what else to tell you.
What's one thing every Florida homeowner should do this week to better protect themselves before the next storm hits?
If you haven't had a wind mitigation, or if it's been over 5 years, I believe on the form, call me up, call local home inspector up, get an updated wind mitigation form sent in to your insurance folks. Hopefully they can get you a premium discount.
Review your insurance documents. If you don't have flood insurance, definitely reach out to your agent or me to get flood insurance.
We've covered inspections, maintenance, wind mitigation, insurance, claims, recovery, and the steps homeowners can take long before a storm ever appears on the radar. But I want to end with something bigger. Imagine a major hurricane is projected to make landfall in Florida 1 week from today. The grocery store shelves, they are empty. The gas stations are filling up. And Jim Cantor from the Weather Channel has arrived on the scene.
Oh.
Every homeowner across Tampa Bay is listening right now. What's the one message you want them to hear and remember before that storm arrives?
You get that pantry stocked, get your preparations underway as a homeowner. This is your biggest investment. You want to protect it. So do your due diligence, walk around your home, take inventory, take your videos, make sure your roof's good. It's too late when they say it's on the radar, right? So you want to do the last minute preparations. So again, pantry's great. Protect your palace. That's it.
Protect yourself and your family. Make sure that you're doing what's right for you and your family. If you need to evacuate, please do. People are more important than possessions.
Perfect. A big thank you to Stacia and Joe for sharing their expertise and helping us better understand what it truly means to be prepared before the next storm arrives. If you're a realtor watching this, remember that hurricane preparedness isn't just a seasonal conversation. It's a home ownership conversation by helping clients understand inspections, mitigation opportunities, insurance considerations, and potential risk before they buy or sell. You're delivering value that extends well beyond the transaction. And for the consumers listening, don't wait until a storm is named to start preparing. The best time to inspect your roof, review your insurance coverage, document your belongings, and strengthen your home is long before a hurricane is even on the forecast. A little preparation today can save thousands of dollars, countless headaches, and provide a peace of mind when it matters most. Make sure you download, subscribe, and share, and turn on your notifications so you never miss the heat. With more expert guests, real conversations, and practical strategies coming your way on Hot Topics, powered by the Suncoast Tampa Living Network, recorded live from the Fabre Frameworks studio. Fabre Frameworks. If you have a listing coming to market, now is the perfect time to take advantage of a special offer. As a listener of this podcast, use promo code STAR50. Again, that is STAR50. And receive 50% off your next service with Fabre Frameworks. Great listings deserve great presentation. And Fabre Frameworks helps ensure your properties make a strong first impression from the very first click. Learn more at FabreFrameworks.com, the official studio home of the Suncoast Tampa Living Podcast Network. This is your host, signing off. Until next time, stay informed, stay prepared, stay ahead of the storm, and standing out like the star you are.